Whoa. Hello, I'm Granville Emerson, and welcome to another Lidline Sports with my co-host, Seattle sports enthusiast, Renault Bean. We call him Pepe. What up, Pep?
Hey, what up, yo?
Shout out to the listeners at RainierValleyRadio.world. Hope you all are enjoying Lidline Sports. That sports as we see it, right, Pep?
Just below our lid.
We got a lot to get to today. The NBA playoffs are in full effect, the first round. The NFL schedule came out. The NFL draft is this week. There's Mariner news. I know you want to talk about the Mariners.
Oh, I can't wait.
And then what's going down in the town. We got a whole lot to talk about that revolves around Garfield High School athletics.
Yes.
So it's good to be back in the rainy city. Back in Seattle. I was down in New Orleans, down in NOLA. And glad to be back, man. I had a good time down there in the Big Easy. It was hot. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, I'm jealous.
I know that's where your peoples are from, right?
Yes, definitely. You probably saw a few, didn't know it.
You got that many relatives?
I do. Down there, yes.
I had a chance on Easter to go to St. Peter Claver, an African-American Roman Catholic church. I'm Baptist. So I had a little trepidation about that, but man, when I got in there, Pat,
right.
Ooh, there was some fine women in that church. Ooh-wee. That almost persuaded me to be Catholic.
Did you get some rosary beads?
I got some Mardi Gras beads, that's for sure.
Right.
Nothing but Mardi Gras. They just be throwing them on you. That's black vernacular for they throw them on you. They just be throwing them on you.
Right.
When you're down in the French Quarter, spend a lot of time in the French Quarter. They love the Saints down there like we love the Seahawks.
Oh, yeah.
It's all the Saints all the time down there.
Yes.
And we'll get to some more about that later. But let's talk about the NBA playoffs for a minute.
Yes, let's go.
The first round is kind of interesting. The Cleveland Cavaliers swept through the Indiana Pacers.
Yeah, but that series is a little bit closer than people realize. Only 16 points separated from games 1 through 4. The Pacers blew their opportunity in game 1. They had a chance to win that. C.J. Miles misses a last-second shot, so they lose by 1. And then game 3, you're up 25 at halftime. You're supposed to close that out, especially at home. And they didn't do it. So that, to me, that game right there epitomizes the fact that was the series loss right there.
LeBron James has not lost a first-round playoff game in 5 years. So remember on the last broadcast I talked about them not being in sync because they were all sitting out and injured and they got all these different acquisitions.
Yes.
And so I said that they were going to be able to use the first round of the playoffs to work out all those kinks, and it looked like they were able to do that. I think they only won that entire series by a total of 16 points.
Right.
In 4 games. So they didn't blow out the Pacers.
No, they didn't.
But and now I just read the other day where Paul George has told his teammates he wants to go to L.A. and he still has another year on his contract.
That's crazy.
Like, who does that?
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, my God.
You're like, I don't like you anyway. I'm going to L.A.
Yeah.
You still got to play with them dudes for another season, Paul George. Blake Griffin, injured.
Again.
I
mean, it seems like the MO for the Clippers. They make the playoffs and Blake gets hurt.
Yeah. He hurt his big toe.
Right.
And he's out for
indefinite. Well, yeah, for this series we know.
Well, they're not going to make it past Golden State. So if they do get past Utah, which, that's not guaranteed.
No, it's
right?
not.
And so if they get past Utah, then they will have to deal with the Golden State Warriors. So
yeah, let's just go ahead and say right now, when the Clippers get eliminated, they're gonna have to blow that team up because that is not working. They're not gonna go far with what they got right there.
Blake Griffin has one more year left. He has an option year.
Right, and you think he's gonna?
If I'm Blake Griffin, I'm out.
Right, and that's what I'm saying.
Right?
Yeah,
I'm out. I'm choosing the option to leave.
Yeah, I'll take that exit option. Stage left even.
Because it's the Clippers' history says that we ain't going nowhere.
Right.
Right? And that's not changing anytime soon.
No, it is not. Because they ain't going nowhere.
And
fast.
My thoughts on that whole thing is I would like to see this happen. I would like to see Blake leave, go someplace else. I don't know where. I ain't thought about where Blake should go.
Well, I'm pretty sure the popular notion is that he will go to Oklahoma, where he's from.
True. I don't know if that makes Oklahoma any better. Does that make Oklahoma?
Well, it depends on what they have to give up.
Does that get them out of the first round?
No, I don't think so. Well, they'll struggle.
Yeah.
Just like they are right now with the Clippers.
Kind of makes them the Clippers south or
right. Southwest.
Southwest.
Well, Clippers are Southwest anyway. Mid Southwest.
Oof, Southwest, Oklahoma. But I'd like to see Melo go to the Clippers.
L.A.
For the same reasons I said I wanted Melo to go to the Cleveland Cavaliers.
Right.
Because Melo is a floor stretcher. At this point of his career, he knows he's not the guy, right?
Right.
So he needs to go to a team where he's got superstars on the team like Chris Paul, right? Where he can play a role. So if you put Melo at the 3 or at that stretch 4 where he opens up the lane for Chris Paul,
right?
Then Chris Paul can get in the lane and kick to him for shots or dish to DeAndre Jordan for dunks.
Right.
Right? So the problem with playing Blake Griffin and DeAndre Jordan together, they're both post players.
Right, and it clogs it up.
It clogs it up. So, that would give a little Drano action to the LA Clippers and may be able to unstop their playoff woes because they cannot get to even the championship.
No.
I think it also has a lot to do with them playing a Staples Center. They don't have their own arena.
Yeah, I don't think they're too happy about that. I think they don't like that deal.
Yeah, Ballmer needs to get up out of there. He got the money to get up out of there. Come on, Ballmer, bring them Clippers to Seattle. I always said, though, in my mind, he's got a clause that says that he can get out, right? So I've always said in my mind, once the Clippers turn bad, and if they don't make it out of the first round, Doc Rivers may be fired.
Right.
If Doc Rivers is fired, they're going down.
Well, what's the team in L.A. anyway?
The Lakers.
Thank you.
But I'm just saying, if Doc Rivers is fired, the Clippers are... Right. That's how you start that spiral. You get rid of a coach because of injuries that happen to star players and you don't win.
Sounds like 2006, 7 year?
Celtics?
Sonics.
Oh, yes. Sonics.
Yeah.
Yep, exactly.
I mean... Well, listen, when they hired P.J. Carlesimo as coach, I knew it was over.
Hey, P.J.'s a friend of mine.
You might be a friend of yours.
He's a great commentator. Christian Porzingis from the Knicks. Did I say his name right?
Kristaps.
Porzingis.
Yes.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Kristaps Porzingis from the Knicks says that he wants to remain a Knick for life, but he wants to win. It's kind of oxymoron.
That is an oxymoron. Hey, good luck with that.
Maybe if he remains a Knick for life, he might win.
Well,
at the end of it. When's the last time the Knicks were in the playoffs? It's been more than a minute.
Yeah.
How about what's going on or what had went on in Houston and in Oklahoma City with the fans cussing out
Patrick
Beverly?
Yeah, I don't even know what the scoop is on that. Perhaps you can enlighten me.
Well, Patrick Beverly is mad at the league, and he says the league needs to take action. So the NBA, what makes the NBA great is the NBA is not like, or basketball is not like any other sport because you are so close to the players.
Right.
There's no other sport where you're like are right next to the players. Players fall on you, what have you. You're just right there.
Yeah, courtside, sure.
Right? So at Oklahoma, during the Oklahoma-Houston series, Beverly said a fan kept yelling at him, F you. F you, Beverly. F you, Beverly. Right?
Right.
And Beverly's like, I'm a man. I ain't going to take too many of them F yous.
Right.
You can talk about my game. You can talk about my whack hairdo.
Oh, it is whack.
You can talk about any of that, but you just can't be yelling expletives at me.
Right.
And Adam Silver, you need to step in and handle that and handle those fans that do that.
Well, I thought they had. Don't security have anything to do with that? The arena personnel that those people that stand around with their arms crossed behind their back.
Yeah, they should have escorted him out of the arena and not allowed him to be in that seat
anymore. They should
anymore.
be culpable for that. So I don't know. I'm not a Patrick Beverly fan, to be honest.
Well, yeah, you said you wasn't, and then he went out and got 25. He said, "How you like me now?"
Yeah, I don't. Still,
but I'm getting buckets, and we're advancing in the playoffs.
That's right, you are. Go ahead, man. Do your thing.
Yeah.
Hey, you getting your paycheck?
Yeah.
I ain't mad at you for that.
Money. He's getting paid. Talking about Pap.
Yeah.
Where you at, bro?
Yeah.
You see me getting this 25?
Yeah. I can't even wish for 25.
Pep, I can't get with Boston's coach. Chicago's coach, Fred Hoiburg.
No, the mayor? No.
The mayor?
The mayor. That's what they called him.
Why do they call him the mayor?
They called him the mayor when he was in college. Iowa State. Yeah. They called him the mayor.
Yeah, well,
Fred Hoiburg.
He's being too political right now.
Well, he said that he's complaining that Isaiah Thomas is traveling and carrying the ball. But that's funny. He shouldn't complain when they were up 2-0.
Sure didn't.
He didn't say anything about it. So now, he's just posturing, trying for the refs, I guess. But you know what? You're going on the road. What kind of advantage do you think you're going to get from the refs on the road?
But, Pep, that is weak, man. That's weak. The weakest thing I've ever heard come out of a coach's mouth in a complaint for another team.
And as a coach, you shouldn't be complaining about other players anyway.
What he's talking about should never be uttered by a professional basketball coach in a press conference.
Right.
He's carrying the ball. He's unguardable because he's putting his hand under the ball, and then he's exaggerating until he's taking 2 or 3 steps. Right. He's not carrying the ball, taking those 2 or 3 steps.
He's doing a hesitation dribble that just about every point guard in the NBA can do.
Or does.
Yes.
Right? AI did it a lot.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
That's right.
And I watched Dame Lillard do it last night.
Yeah.
Right?
Conley.
They all do it.
Right.
Yeah. So, hey, Hoiburg, that's weak sauce, bro. That's like, to me, that's like putting some ketchup on some ribs.
Oh.
That's weak sauce.
Wow. You know what? That's something I never even thought of.
That is straight weak sauce, man.
Well, I know in Alabama they put mayonnaise, so I don't know.
That's the first I heard of that one.
Yeah. Research it, bro. I was like, what?
I don't need to research that. There's some things I may need to research. But mayonnaise on a sandwich. On them ribs.
Ribs, yeah.
Nah, man, I don't know. Not even with a large Coke.
And I like mayo, but not on my ribs.
Yeah, just on a chicken sandwich.
Yeah, that'll work.
That'll work.
Yes, sir.
It'll work for you, but it won't work for Jimmy Thunder Hurley. You know who that is?
No.
You never watched Dreamgirls?
No.
Eddie Murphy?
No. I don't remember it. I mean, you know what? I think I did see that.
Yeah. He told his manager, he said, how many times I got to tell you, money? No mayonnaise on the chicken sandwich. In all seriousness, though, I'm really hoping that Steve Kerr gets back. For those of you who don't know, Steve Kerr has been suffering from back injuries. And he sat out a great portion of the season 2 years ago.
Well, he sat out the first 30-some-odd games, and they had won, what was it, 29 in a row?
Right.
And
the year they broke the record.
Right, and then he came back, and now he's out indefinitely, and they're playing pretty well. They seem to be playing pretty well when he's not in there. I'm not saying anything, but I'm saying something. When he ain't there, they play well. What's going on? I don't know. No, but seriously, all due respect, Steve Kerr done a phenomenal job there, and we wish him nothing but the best and get well. I have friends that have back issues, and so, those aren't fun. It makes your life miserable, so I feel for him.
Yeah, he has been battling with that for a while. He's tried to make it through the season, and he said that it just came to a point where he couldn't handle it anymore. I mean, coaching in the NBA is a very tedious job. And so he's handed it over to Mike Brown, two-time Cleveland coach. It'd be very interesting to see if he didn't come back and Golden State made it to the championship again against Cleveland. And Mike Brown is coaching against LeBron. That would be, be very, very interesting.
Yes, indeed.
Right. You're listening to Lidline Sports. I'm Granville Emerson with my partner, the one and only, Renault
Yes, sir.
Bing. The NFL draft is this week.
Yes.
Do you have any idea what the Seahawks might do with the 26th pick in the draft?
Well, I looked at some reports. I looked at NFL.com. And they have a myriad of guys that are doing their mock drafts. And, there was like 8 or 10 of them. Even Maurice Jones-Drew, an ex-running back for the Jaguars, has his own mock draft. So I was like, how do I pick which one I want to actually go with and look at? So I looked at a few of them, and I said, you know what? I'll just go with the most recent one that I saw. And so, and it was a name that I've never heard of. There's Peter King out there doing mock drafts and Charlie Casserly and guys like that. But I went with the most recent one. But Peter King, he said that the Seahawks are going to pick Forrest Lamp.
Forrest Gump?
Yeah.
Run,
Forrest Lamp.
Who is he?
He's a guard out of Western Kentucky. And he says that Schneider will overlook Lamp's short arms. Because he can start from day one. Yeah, okay.
How you gonna play guard with short arms? You got alligator arms?
Was he Kevin Willis? I don't know.
K. Will had short arms, but he played many years in the league though, in the NBA.
Well, actually,
Forrest Lamp.
Forrest Lamp. But see, on another draft, Forrest Lamp, the Dolphins are also looking at him. So I went with this guy, and he says that, of course, the top pick is going to be Myles Garrett, and then Jamal Adams, Marshawn Lattimore, Leonard Fournette, blah, blah, blah. I mean, I don't think you want me to go
So the top 3 picks are defensive ends?
No. Defensive end is Garrett, and Jamal Adams is a safety out of LSU.
Right.
And then Marshawn Lattimore is a cornerback out of Ohio State. And that's his top 3. And then he's got the Seahawks picking Garrett Bowles, offensive tackle from Utah. And also Maurice Jones-Drew also had that same person for the Seahawks as well. So that was one thing they had in common.
Yeah. The draft is wide open to me.
It is.
It's wide open. You don't know who's going to really go 1 through 3. You got guys like Christian McCaffrey from Stanford, the running back, who 3 weeks ago was projected to go in the second round. Now he's a top 10 pick.
Right.
Right? You got him. You got Myles Garrett from Texas A&M. I'm interested to see where Deshaun Watson goes, the quarterback from Clemson.
Yeah, it's interesting with that. Watson is projected, he's anywhere from 25 up to 3.
Yeah.
And that's a wide range right there. So in other words, we don't know.
We don't know. I mean, it is definitely one of the more intriguing drafts
right.
To come along in a long time.
And another name that's always brought up is Fournette from LSU, the running back.
Right.
He's the top dog in that department.
Yeah, the general strategy lately is to not waste the first-round pick on a running back. So Fournette and McCaffrey are both projected to go high in the first round.
Yes.
Just how high they actually go will be interesting to see.
Yeah.
Because Fournette is intriguing because he's a big power back.
But he might be a guy that you just can't pass up. I mean, if you need a running, I mean, you might not necessarily need a running back per se, but I mean, he's that guy. He might be that guy that's like, listen, we got to take him.
And he might not be that guy.
Right. He looks to be that guy, but I understand what you're saying.
You know what I mean?
But, yeah.
He might not be that guy. And he has everything you want in a running back.
Yes.
He's got size. He's got speed. He's got hands.
Right.
He can block. He's once in a, I'd say, 5 and 10 year span running back. Mm-hmm. A guy like that. So you got to draft him in the first round if you need a running back.
Right.
McCaffrey, I heard somebody say the other day that if McCaffrey was black, he would be an easy top 5 pick.
Mm.
I like Christian McCaffrey.
Yeah.
That kid has dips. He can catch the ball.
Right.
They say that he is the best route runner in the draft, including receivers.
Mm.
Which doesn't surprise me because his dad played wide receiver for the Denver Broncos.
Yeah, Ed McCaffrey. Yeah.
Right? So that does not surprise me.
Right.
So he's definitely going to be a great pick for any team. If he went to a team like the New Orleans Saints.
Who just picked up Adrian Peterson.
Yeah, just picked up Adrian Peterson. Matter of fact, when I was in New Orleans the other day, I said, y'all need to get Peterson.
Well, now.
He out there.
Let me know when that check arrives.
They told me.
I want some Popeyes.
And people were teasing me about that. I went to Popeyes 2 times, y'all, while I was in New Orleans. That Popeyes ain't no real Popeyes, man. It's something extra. That Popeyes, ooh, that chicken was good. The red beans and rice, the biscuits. Oh my goodness. Hey, and I'm telling you, I didn't really do anything, but my server though, I think she low key liked me because she gave me big fries, a whole bunch of fries, and extra biscuits. I didn't even ask for it.
She like that smile.
I was loving the
that you be showing on Facebook. That Hollywood smile you got.
Yeah, man, you already know. Something was going on because she definitely hooked me up. Mm-hmm. So, AP to the Patriots. I mean, to the Saints.
Right.
How are you feeling about that?
Hey, good luck.
Do you think AP still got something in the tank?
I hope so. I mean, I don't know. He's coming back from what, two knee injuries.
Yeah, here's my thing. If you're
how old is he? 30?
Yeah, if you're injured multiple years in a row, you're pretty much done.
Right.
That's kind of been the history. You're just pretty much done. And I'd be very surprised if AP lasted a whole season.
Yeah, and he's not a pass catcher out of the backfield either. So and that. Drew Brees he benefits from that, from a guy that could do that.
Yeah, so it'll be interesting to see what happens. Regarding the Seahawks, I predict that they trade down.
As usual. That's no shock.
No bold prediction,
yeah,
right?
No, it's not.
I predict
it's not breaking news.
They trade down and gather some picks. They feel like they don't have enough picks going into the draft because the Seahawks, they stockpile draft picks normally.
Yeah, and supposedly this draft is weak on an area they need badly, and that is offensive line.
Yeah. I keep saying they feel like they're good with their offensive line now for some reason, man.
Yeah.
They feel like they have
Alrighty.
Made enough acquisitions to shore up the line and another year of experience with the dudes they had last year, and they're ready to go. I've heard all kind of people slotted for the 26th pick for the Seahawks, like Jabril Peppers.
Right. Who just failed
Yeah, he gave a diluted sample.
Yes.
During the NFL Combine.
Ooh.
He said that he, in preparing to try out for multiple positions, because he's a multiple position player,
right,
that he just drank too much water.
And was sick.
And was, yeah. And so, I don't know. All I know is, hey, I understand. I mean,
the guy's talented.
If I would have got drug tested last week in New Orleans, I'd have had a diluted sample too. Because it was so hot, all I was drinking was water and Gatorade, like day and night. That was it.
Boy, you got Gatorade and Popeyes all up in your sample.
Yeah, I got dehydrated for a minute there. I went to Baton Rouge, man. That humidity, woo,
right,
whoo, down to LSU,
and them bugs,
whoo, oh man. I was there, y'all. Hey, y'all. I was in New Orleans and Baton Rouge for a week. On the 6th day, I decided to use some bug spray because I got bitten once. By the time I left, I was all bit up. I'm like, the bug spray must have been attracting bugs.
It's a scam.
Yeah, they done built the resistance to that.
Mm-hmm. Ooh, we like that. That's polo red to us.
But good times in New Orleans, in spite of the bug bites and the humid weather. Yes. It was good to be out of Seattle on this rainy mug.
Oh. I mean, Seattle broke a 122 year record for rain this year, and I know it because I felt every drop.
We're going to go to break. When we come back, we'll talk more about the NBA. We'll talk about baseball and those M's right here on Lidline Sports with Granville Emerson. You can just call me G. And Pepe.
Yes, sir.
Renault B. Hello, I'm Granville Emerson, and welcome to Lidline Sports with my partner, co-host, Renault Pepe Bean.
Hey.
We had set Pepe on a former Lidline Sports. Actually, it was the one right after opening day of the Major League Baseball season.
Right.
That San Francisco pitcher Madison Bumgarner was not a bum.
Right. He had 2 home runs on opening day. I mean, hey.
Yeah,
but they still lost.
He turns out to be a bum now.
Yeah, he crashes his bike.
Who does that? This dude went motorbike riding on his day off, crashed his bike and broke his shoulder, and he's out 8 weeks?
Well, I don't understand some of these guys, especially during the season, getting on ATVs and motorbikes and whatnot. I mean, you haven't learned from past experience with some guys?
Who didn't put that clause in his contract?
Right.
I mean, I know baseball season is long. I'll grant you that.
Yeah, but it just started.
Still.
He's still in April.
He might have been trying to get it in early before the home run stretch. I don't know. But you would think that he would have a clause in his contract where he just couldn't do stuff like that. Like, that's just too risky.
It very.
Right? And you see that, hey, it happened. He crashed his bike. He hurt himself. He's out for 8 weeks. He's hurting his
Who makes that phone call
team.
to the GM? Hey, how you doing? How's your day? Hey, guess what? I got some news for you. What do you say?
I fell off my bike.
Well, I don't think it's him making the call. It's his wife, no.
Nah, he needed to man up and
got Mrs. Baumgartner on line 3. Uh-oh.
He needed to man up and make that call himself.
Not good.
Seattle Mariners made moves this week, Pep.
They did. Now, I like what he's trying to do, and it only proves to what I was saying earlier about April. You know, when I disparaged them about their bad start, they were saying, "Oh, it's early. It's only April." Oh yeah. Well, he's already making moves because he's tired of what he's seeing.
Leonis Martin. Leonis Martin.
Batting 111, and he's had enough. He said, okay. So they designated him for assignment, which means they've got 10 days from that designation to trade, release, or send him outright to the minors. But he's got to clear waivers in order to be sent to the minors. But I like that from the manager. I like the fact that he's not scared to make a change right now. Past managers we've had will say, well, we'll just let him play it out. We'll just let him work it out. No. If you're not performing, you're out of here.
111 batting average in the first 20 games for Leonis Martin. The M's brought up first baseman Dan Vogelbach from AAA Tacoma.
Right. They also sent down a pitcher, too.
Yeah, I understand they have a couple good pitchers down there that they could bring up. So their bullpen is looking a little better.
Well, they're 8-12. They're 4 games under, and so they realize that the time is now. You got Felix, and you got Paxton pitching out of his world, except for the last performance. But you know what? That was expected. You can't go 21 innings with no runs and then think that you're going to keep doing that. No, it's going to it's going to end, and it did in a big way. But that's okay. He'll bounce back. But the M's, you can't get 4 and 5 teams behind. What I'm saying, like when the wild card playoff race comes in late August and September, people are saying, oh, they're only 4 games out. No, you can't look at it that way. You have to look at who you're behind. If you're behind by 4 and 5 teams, well, you have to be hot, and then you got to expect those other teams to cool off. Well, that's not going to happen because those other teams play each other. So somebody's going to cool off, but somebody's going to remain hot. So where does that leave you? Out of the playoffs.
So they're 4 games below 500 now.
Correct.
All right. You are sounding like you're a little bit more optimistic than the last time we talked about this, Pep.
I'm not saying I'm optimistic, but I like the fact that the manager isn't afraid to make moves, which is okay. Whether they work or not, we'll see. But I think this team is going to be between 500 and sub 500, battling that all year. They're going to win 3 or 4. They're going to lose 3 or 4. That up and down kind of thing. That's what's going to happen, I think, all season.
General Manager Jerry DiPoto says that he is very bullish on the Seattle Mariners' prospects of turning it all around and finishing this season in the money in the playoffs. He's looking forward to his lineup of hitters, the bats singing on a consistent basis for the Mariners. He's excited about his starting rotation, and he's excited about his bullpen. So,
yeah, that's laughable.
They got wheelchair races going on in the studio here.
Yeah.
That's a new one for me right there.
The photo's saying stuff that, who hasn't said that as a GM? I mean, Jack Z said things like that. Oh, I'm excited like this and that and the other.
Jack Z.
Zarinchik, the former GM of the Mariners. I mean, really? I mean, that's no... I expect him to say that. What do you think he's going to say? He's going to say, oh, man, we're going to struggle again. No, he ain't going to say that.
Well, sometimes you need to just set the expectations low and exceed expectations rather than building up folks' hopes.
Well, the problem is...
The hopes getting dashed.
Well, the problem is they say they were 10 games over 500 last season. So, you can't set them too low when you had a season like they did last season. You just got to set it high. And right now, they're not even close. So, I mean, you can be optimistic on paper or how it looks, but you got to be realistic. So far, this team is still struggling. It's still the same old Mariners. But like I said before, at least this manager is trying something different from previous managers. A lot of previous managers, like I said, they stay the status quo, believing that their guy's going to get out of it, work his way out of it. Well, guess what? He's not having that.
No, Leonis Martin only had 1 hit in 20 games.
Right, and he's supposed to be a guy that can get on base and be a speedster and cause havoc. Well, if you're batting 111, you ain't getting on base, so you're not doing it. So you're sitting on next to the manager most of the time.
I mean, here's my thing about baseball. I mean, and hitting. If I'm in a slump, I'm making you throw me good pitches. I am not gonna consistently. I see him strike out swinging. They get ahead in the count. How do you get ahead in the count and strike out swinging? You make that dude throw strikes. If he doesn't throw strikes, then you're on base. Get your on base percentage up, even if your batting percentage isn't up.
Yeah, and who's their hitting coach? Edgar Martinez, one of the best ever.
Exactly.
So you know what? I like that he said, you know what? You got to go, man. You're not doing it. So see ya.
That's Mariners baseball talk here on Lidline Sports with Pepe Renault Bean.
Yes, sir.
The official baseball aficionado.
Oh.
Oh, man. Back to the NBA playoffs. The Cavaliers swept the Indiana Pacers.
Right.
I was hoping that we would see the matchup between LeBron and the Greek freak, Giannis Antetokounmpo.
Right.
But then they went out and lost to Toronto.
You know, Toronto, they did what I expected in game one, and that was lose. You know, because Toronto, when they get to the playoffs, they seem to, snake eyes. But recently they just blew out the Bucks. I mean, they just destroyed them. I mean, the game previous, both teams struggled. It was 87-76, and this one was 118-93 blowout. So I don't know what team's going to show up next game.
Well, they're in Milwaukee.
Right.
So hopefully they can tie the series up. Hopefully they can get it to a seventh game.
Right.
Right? Get it to a seventh game and win so we can see LeBron versus the Greek Freak.
I would like to see that.
Yeah, I think that's a better matchup. That's more interesting than
DeRozan and Lowry for Toronto.
Yeah, you know the Cavs are going to crush them, but
right.
Well,
they're going to crush Milwaukee too.
Well, you are, but you still want to see the matchup between LeBron because the Greek Freak he's got so much length and he's a good defensive player.
Right, and a lot of people haven't seen him.
Yeah, I want to see him go up against LeBron for at least 4 games and see what he does against him.
Yeah, he gets some exposure there.
You see what I'm saying?
Sure, absolutely.
I'm talking about the game inside the game.
Right,
I
got you.
Yeah, so, sometimes the game just ain't any good.
Right.
That's African-American vernacular for the game is not any good. And you want to see the game inside the game.
Right.
Right? And so I want to see the matchup, 4 games, see the adjustments to how he's defending LeBron, how LeBron is going to react to that. How's he going to play him offensively?
Right.
He won't be able to post him up.
No.
So what's LeBron going to do? He's just shoot threes all game?
Yeah, well, take him out, I guess.
Take him off the dribble?
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll see. He's quick too.
Right.
So, he's quick and he's long. So,
but LeBron's the best player on the planet.
So. LeBron is the best player on the planet, man. I'm not.
I wasn't saying that disparagingly.
Okay.
I was serious.
Let's get that clear.
I was serious.
Let's get that clear.
He's the best player on the planet.
There should be no doubt about that. There are many
LeBron
there is
no doubt.
Haters out there. I do not know.
You do not know?
Do not know.
Voodoo donut? If you've been to Portland, you know what I'm talking about.
Exactly. I'm going to be there this weekend. Get me a voodoo donut too. But if you do not know that LeBron James is the best player on the planet,
you're not paying attention.
Then you are just tripping.
Right.
Right? Because there's no other player, I'll keep saying this, there's no other player that you can just put on a team and they're going to be in the playoffs and probably in the championship game. But LeBron. And he's proven himself over and over again. People give him a bad rap because he went to go play for Miami, and then when he came back to the Cavaliers,
you gotta get over that stuff.
He's getting all these players and whatever. That's the way it is nowadays.
Yeah.
So don't trip. You go do your thing.
I do remember the Philadelphia 76ers in the 70s had a bunch of all-stars.
They did.
And they didn't win.
They did.
So, let's not disparage LeBron for that.
Yeah.
But there's another guy out there that's caught my eye, and he's caught a lot of people's eyes, Kawhi Leonard.
Oh, you done came to the Kawhi table.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
I like how Pep has these come to Jesus moments.
But I'm not afraid to let you know that I see the light.
Because on the last show, I was arguing Kawhi for MVP, and he wasn't seeing it at all.
Well, no, not for regular season. For this season.
Come on,
I hear
man.
you. No. I understand what you're saying. I love the guy, but I'm really loving him now.
And my argument for Kawhi for MVP, and we were talking about who he has playing with him and not having the talent that, say, Golden State has or Cleveland has.
Right, and they still won over 60 games.
They had the second best record in the league. That's my point. That Kawhi Leonard, he's the second best player in the league. I don't care who else you want to talk about. That dude, to me, is LeBron and Kawhi and Russell. And then James Harden. Maybe in that order. You got a rebuttal?
No, because you won't get any argument from me on that one. I'm digging it.
If you have a rebuttal, hit us up on Facebook in the comments section or send us an email to Lidline Sports at yahoo.com. We want to hear from you.
Yes, sir.
Speaking of San Antonio, they're in a tough matchup. I told you that San Antonio-Memphis matchup was going to be tough.
Yeah, Memphis gives them trouble. They actually beat them a couple of years. 2 years ago they beat them in the series.
Yep.
And another year or two, they gave them some problems. They don't match up well with them, and so they it seems like every team has a team that is almost like kryptonite to them. Like the Patriots, hard to believe, but the last 3 times they played the Seattle Seahawks, the Seahawks should have won all 3, but the Seahawks have won 2 out of those 3 and have handled the Patriots pretty good.
Bruh, why are you bringing up the Patriots?
I'm just saying in terms of
come on, bro.
A team that every team, even the Patriots, have a team
nobody
that
wants
gives
to
them
relive.
problems.
Nobody wants to relive the Patriots.
I got you. But
we need to win another Super Bowl.
So I'm saying the Memphis Grizzlies seem to be the Spurs' kryptonite.
Well, okay, I'll give you that because you know what they do, and I think that some teams need to understand the brilliance of what Memphis does and why they play teams so tough. Matter of fact, they play Golden State tough.
Right? Yes.
Because they slow the game down and they muck it up.
Yes, and Conley's a good quarterback.
Exactly. He orchestrates the game.
And hey, case in point, with Conley, where you have in Chicago, you had Rajon Rondo. Now, they were up 2-0. Rondo's hurt now. Mm-hmm. Now, look what's happened.
Yeah. They say Rondo could come back for Game 6 if this is Game 6. That's what I heard today.
Yeah, he better. They need him bad.
Yeah, I really want Boston to win that series right about now.
Well, I do too.
So, I'm really interested in watching the rest of the San Antonio-Memphis series and watching the highest paid player in the league, Mike Conley.
Oh, that's right. Well, listen, he sure earned it the other night. 35.
He's earning his pay.
And left, right.
He does work on both sides of the ball. In this day of defenseless NBA basketball, I give props to dude that play both sides of the ball.
Right.
Right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So, if we missed anybody else, OKC went home. They're gone fishing.
Gone fishing.
Gone fishing by Westbrook.
See you later, fake Sonics.
Yeah, see you, Westbrook and your team. Westbrook went off in the press conference because they were trying to say that the team wasn't any good because they they couldn't score after he left the game.
Accurate.
And so he was like, it's not Russell Westbrook and the team. It's the Oklahoma City Thunder. We're a team.
Benny.
Don't single me out.
Benny.
And the Jazz. I got a question.
Yes.
On that song, is it he's got electric boots?
Oh man,
I know it's true.
I don't know
because I read it in a magazine. Or is it he's got electric boots? I know it's true.
I don't know. Listen, all I know is my ex-wife. That was her favorite
song. That's the time of the song.
Right.
Benny, heard it when I was in NOLA. Benny and the Jazz.
Yes. Okay.
Jazz.
Stop. We're trying to keep listeners. Trying.
Oh man. So the Thunder have gone fishing. They probably know water holes in Oklahoma, so they may have to join the Pacers somewhere. Who's the next team to go fishing? Oh, the Trailblazers went fishing.
Oh, yes. But we knew that was going to happen.
Oh, my God.
Yeah. I mean, game one told me they were gone quick. McCollum 41 points, Lillard 34, and they still lost by double figures. So you're telling me that they have to perform superhuman efforts every night just to stay in the game, and that wasn't going to happen.
Yeah, man. I watched the game last night, the other night. It made me sick. Portland was just coming down, jacking up shots. I'm like, there's no way to play the Golden State Warriors. No. You just can't come and shoot the ball within 5 seconds of the shot clock against the Warriors.
No.
I'm like,
they're playing right into their hands.
Exactly.
That's what they
want. It was like 20 to
It was like an ABA game.
In the first 55 seconds. I'm like, what the heck?
They're trying to go home.
Yeah, so what's going down in the town?
Well, let's give props to Kelsey Plum for being the number 1 pick in the WNBA draft.
Yay, Kelsey. and some were worrying about if she was going to get drafted, and she was the number one pick.
Yeah, for San Antonio. So she should get her 20 a night and be out of the playoffs.
Shout out to Jalen Noel.
Yes, for the UW Huskies. He decided to stay home.
Staying at home. So that has turned out to be pretty good.
Definitely.
Where you've got 2 top local players.
Nate Pryor and Jalen Noel.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean.
That's a good start.
That's a good start. And so, Nate Pryor, we talked about him a lot.
Yeah.
He reminds me of Mike Conley.
Yeah, and they played last week sometime in an All-Star Classic, the Northwest Classic shootout, rather, that they play against Oregon. Nate had like 35, 40, and Jalen Noel had about 30-something points. So, they're right on cue doing what they do.
Well, it bodes well for the future of the University of Washington's men's basketball program. Now, Ed Haskins, the coach, Jalen's coach at Garfield High School, has left and accepted an assistant coaching job with Ernie Kent at Washington State. Right. So now there's a vacancy at Garfield.
Now, who could they fill that vacancy with? Could it be Coach G?
It could be Coach G, but it ain't going to be Coach G.
No,
that's for sure.
It's going to be, we all know the name Brandon Roy is going to be talked about, if not, giving it to him or whatever.
Yeah, well, it has been talked about, and everybody is wondering, will Brandon Roy, the best basketball player to ever come out of Garfield High,
definitely
the most celebrated, the most accomplished basketball player, NBA All-Star, to come out of Garfield High School.
He'd still be playing if it wasn't for his knees.
He definitely would be still playing.
Probably still be an All-Star.
He is being rumored to be the next head coach of the Garfield High School Bulldogs. A source close to me says it's only a matter of time, folks.
I believe that.
It's only a matter of time. It'll be interesting to see what kids leave Nathan Hill and what becomes of Nathan Hill High School. Will they be back to mediocrity?
Probably.
That all will be interesting.
That one shining moment.
Hey, they were number 1 team in the nation with the number 1 coach in the nation.
Can't take that away from them ever.
Yeah, the number one player in the nation.
Mm-hmm.
Spring game. UW had their spring game last Saturday. I was out of town. Usually I like to go to the spring game.
Right.
It was missable this year.
Yeah, from what I hear. I
10-0.
I saw the highlight. Whoa. I don't know about highlights.
It was 10-0. Wasn't too many highlights.
No.
The purple team beat the gold team. And for winning the game, they were taken to Dick's and got Dick's Burgers and Fries.
Hey,
we
all like Dick's.
That was it. We all like Dick's restaurant, yes. I all like Dick's Burgers and Fries.
That's right.
So Jake Browning, who had been recovering from his shoulder surgery, participated in the game. He only threw the ball 10 times. He did hand the ball
Picked
off for
No,
their lone touchdown. No, he didn't get picked off. You're silly.
Yeah.
Carter Samuels, quarterback most of the game. He was 7-17 for I think 156 yards.
Mediocre.
It was a pretty lackluster game, but they rested most of their star players for the game. You know, when you go to the national championship, you're not trying to get anybody hurt in the spring game.
Right.
Right.
Of course, they didn't go to the national championship, but they made the Final Four.
Well, you know what I mean, to the national playoff championships.
Right. They made the Final Four, right?
The playoff championships.
Okay.
Ships.
Okay.
Okay? It's like the WIA state championships.
Right. But they made the Final Four.
We didn't go to the championship game.
Right.
Yeah, but they went to championship playoffs.
Yes.
All right.
They made the Final Four.
Yes.
Okay.
They went no further.
Right. Because Bama put it on them.
Man, quit trying to bring up this kind of nonsense, Pep.
Nonsense? It happened.
Well, you know, we ain't trying to relive it. Come on, man. We're trying to look forward to the 2017 season for them to take that next step.
Yeah.
You think they can take that next step?
Yeah, I think so. Why not?
Well, here's the thing. They're coming into the season with a whole lot of confidence.
Yeah.
I was listening to Buda Baker, safety for the Huskies, should go. Well, his stock is rising too in the NFL draft.
And Kevin King as well.
Yeah, Kevin King as well. The Huskies have ballers, y'all.
Yes.
Every year we're putting people in the draft. But I was listening to Buda Baker talk about the Huskies, and he was talking about how they just love whooping on Oregon last year and putting up 70 on them. So we're looking for more of that to come.
And that was down there. So I can't wait to see what happens up here.
Me either. Mm-hmm. Thank you for listening to Lidline Sports. You can listen to Lidline Sports on Facebook, YouTube, and find us on Twitter at Lidline Sports. Join us again next week for more great sports talk radio on Lidline Sports. That's sports as we see it. That's Pepe and G.
Just below our lid.
See y'all next time.
All right.